Hello everybody, and it's me, the Go Live Granny, except I haven't been going live, have I? Where have I been? So I am going to try and do a live stream here, and let's see, I don't know, now wait a minute. Hello Richard, I'm not quite sure. Hello Finley, I'm not quite sure. Hang on, I don't know why I've got an empty box next to me. Hang on, let's see what I can do. Oh, I don't know. Hang on, folks. I just want that one, I think. Is that right? No. Is that me? I've disappeared. Hang on. I'll have to come in as a guest. I don't know what I've done. Right, there's Go Live Gran. Hang on. Oh, hang on, I don't want to be removed from the stream. It says I'm in the stream, but I'm not quite sure what's happening here. Wait a minute. Hang on. So I have I have no idea where I've gone, folks. Hello, Mags. Hello, Tina. Now, I don't know. Wait a minute. I know. I think I know. Oh, my phone's fallen on the floor. Hang on, folks. The phone's fallen down. Oh, my goodness. This is not a good story. Hang on. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Now, I really don't know what I've done. So hang on, folks. You know, it's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a while and I don't know what I'm doing. Hang on. Let's have a look. Let's see if it's that one. No. Oh, you can see me on half the screen. That's not really what I wanted. I wanted to be hang on. I wanted to be I don't know what. It's been a while since I've done all this, and I'm a bit confused as to what I've done. I can see me. Oh, wait a minute. I think if I remove that one, there we are. Whoa, I've got it. Right. Okay. You think I'd know all this stuff by now, wouldn't you? But oh dear, oh dear. And I'm in my craft room, which is getting well set up for crafting. It's absolutely full of craft stuff. Let's move all that rubbish out of the background and let's sit this way round. I'm trying to make it a bit nicer for you to view. So how is everybody? So wait a minute, I might have to keep looking up there because I can see the comments here, but wait a minute, let's get the comments up there as well. Wait a minute. Now how do I get the comments up there? Oh, like that. That's it. Right, okay. So let's go back on here. So how is everybody? Lovely to see Mags in. I haven't seen you for such a while, Mags. Lovely to see you. Finley's in, Richard's in. Those of you, hello Tina. Facebook user, I don't know who that is. This one that says Facebook user. If you're coming in from the community group, can you go to streamyard.com/Facebook and give Facebook permission to say who you are? Otherwise, I don't know who I'm talking to. Oh my goodness, it's hot in here. Do you know what? I'm newly in my craft room now. In the lounge, I've got a door that I can open out to the outside. In here, I've got a dormer window, and actually, it's so warm in here. I've got the door open, but I don't know if I would probably need to get a fan in here. But if I had a fan on, then it would make a noise and you wouldn't hear me. So I don't know. We're going to have to sort this out. If I'm going to hopefully get back to doing some more regular live streams. Obviously, I'm still recovering from my illness. Those of you who are in here who know me, wait a minute. Let's move the comments up a bit. I'm not blank anymore. I'm here now. You can see me. And Tracy. Oh, Gaz is in. Hello, Gaz. Oh, Gaz lives in Newport, and Gaz is a crafter on Crafted with Crafter's Companion, and so we've met through Crafter's Companion. We've only chatted, so sometime maybe I might meet up with you, Gaz. That would be nice. So so I expect everybody will welcome Gaz in. Please do. New member to the Go Live Granny community. Hello, Judith. Hello, Andrea. Let's have a look. Tracy's in. Hello, Tracy. Thank you so much for sending Colin. Now, that's just a message between me and Tracy. I have been trying to tidy up my flat for a long time. And then I had a lot of my mum's stuff come to my flat, and then I was ill, wasn't I? So I had all this, I have an overload of stuff anyway. You know, I'm a crafter, so I have a craft room and some. I've got loads of wool in the lounge because, you know, lots of you know I'm a knitter as well, or I was. I lost my mojo and then I got it back this week. I got my knitting mojo back. So that was lovely. Oh, Judith, was it you coming in on the community? Because somebody's saying hi, Lynn, and then Judith saying it's Judith. So I don't know if that was you, that it wasn't revealing. Anyway, let's see. So there we are. Look, you're being welcomed in, Gaz. Nice to see you. So we have some coming in from YouTube and some coming in from Facebook. I can see Becky Irene is saying, hello, you're in the craft room. I am in the craft room. And when I finish sorting the craft room, I'll give you a tour of it. It's not very big. It's not very big, but it's got loads and loads of craft stuff crammed in. Okay, I want to find something over here. Right, let's go over there because I want to look at something in a minute. I want to share what's in my crafty goodies with you. Now, Gaz will know the excitement of this, and any of you crafters, when you order something, you want it to come quickly, don't you? And this order I did from Crafter's Companion. Now, the orders used to come quickly, and then they slowed down. And this order, I ordered on the 29th of May. And that's quite a long time. What are we now? The 8th, 9th, something like that, aren't we? And so that's quite a long time. But however, Crafter's Companion have shut the warehouse this week, and they are putting in systems so that we can get our goodies much quicker. So we haven't been able to do any well, what a shame I haven't been able to do any shopping this week. That's good. In one way, it's good, isn't it? But you know me, I always like to make my money go as far as possible. Hello, Debs. There we go. Nice Debs coming in from YouTube. And let's see. Oh, yes. And just to explain why Tracy said glad they could help. Tracy works at Age UK down in East Cowes. I had an overload of things in my flat. I had a whole pile of curtains and cushions and all sorts of things that had come from my mum. And I managed to bag up 6 huge bags. I think about 6 huge bags full. And Tracy got Colin, their driver, to come and collect it. So hopefully it will make some pennies for Age UK. That would be good, wouldn't it? There we are. Gaz is saying hi, everyone. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. That's lovely. And Gaz is fairly new to Crafter's Companion, aren't you, Gaz? I can't remember when you joined, but I know that you're fairly new. But I know that you've been doing a lot of crafting and a lot of buying of crafty goodies. Right, okay. Facebook user is watching, but I don't know. I don't know whether we've identified who it was. Hello, Kath. Nice to see you in. Long time no see. And that's a bit of a joke between me and Kath, because Kath and John were here yesterday having a cup of tea and a chat. And John fixed something on my dishwasher. It's been wrong for over 2 years. And another kind soul tried to fix it with a screw, because the basket, one of the baskets pulled right out and the clip came off the end. So I was pulling the basket and the basket was nearly falling out. So another kind soul put a screw in it, but the screw went rusty, and I didn't think that was very good for my health. So John's tried to come up with a solution. And then I was checking around my kitchen. I've got lots of little pots with lots of bits in, and I thought, I wonder if it's the clip is lying around here. Don't know whatever happened to the clip. And lo and behold, there was the clip in one of the pots, and it wasn't broken. And John just clipped it back on easily yesterday for me. So thank you, John. But lovely to see Kath and John anyway. Good friends of mine who I met through my live streams here. So anyway, I'm just going to bring up my Crafter's Companion account, because I have an order. It's not a very big order, but you know how I like to make my my orders, you know, my money go a long way, because I'm a poor old pensioner. Can somebody tag Yvonne, please? Because I don't know if she knows I'm live streaming. I don't know. So Andrea loves my Crafty unboxing. Excellent. Kath saying it's always lovely to see me. Lynn, you cheer us up. Well, that's what I try to do. And of course, that's what I used to do before pandemic. I used to go out and show everybody the, so basically anybody who's new watching in who doesn't know, thanks Mags, and thanks Richard, I can see you tagging Yvonne. Thank you everybody. Hopefully she'll come in. So originally I set out to live stream the Isle of Wight and to show off the beautiful Isle of Wight. I don't know how long you've lived here, Gaz. I've lived here 23 years and I regard it as totally as my home. And I was frustrated that the marketing department were not showing off the Isle of Wight on YouTube. They didn't believe in YouTube. And, what a silly thing. What a way not to market a beautiful island. So my son set me up to... you can't wait to see the haul. It's not much of a haul, Gaz. I'll do it in a minute. So I set out to live stream the... hang on, I just want to get the order open so I can tell you how much I paid for these goodies. So I used to do live streams of the carnivals and everything like that. And then, of course, the pandemic came. So the thousands of viewers I had all over the world didn't have anything to look at. But some of you loyal people here wanted me still to live stream. And so through the pandemic, we live streamed. I set up my garden at the front and I live streamed my garden. I live streamed my knitting. And now I've started to live stream my paper crafting, which is fairly new. I mean, I've paper crafted all my life because I've been a nursery school teacher. Hang on. My head's a bit low down on the screen. Let's see if I can, don't know, without collapsing the whole lot, whether I can make it better. Let's see. If you see the setup here, it's very fresh. Is that a bit better? And it may not be a surprise to you to know that you are balanced on craft companion boxes. So this purple here was what you were balanced on, and that Gaz will probably recognize that sort of box because we have a lot of our things in those sort of boxes. You are now sitting on a purple box of goodies and the Sarah Davis signature collection Swan Lake. So you're sitting on Swan Lake, folks. So I don't know whether you're going to go and dance off anywhere. Please don't. You can if you want to. So anyway, I'm going to show you what's in my goodie box. So Gaza says he's seen too many of those boxes. Cass tagging Ailey as well. Anybody else you think that might want to come in who... Because I'm not regular on here, people don't know when I'm going to come on here. And I was going to come on here earlier in the week. I was all set up. I had a parcel earlier in the week. And I was set up to show you what I'd got. And Facebook suspended my account. And so I couldn't do a live stream on Facebook. I could do it on YouTube, but a lot of you are on Facebook. So that was a bit of a pain. And I had no option but to say whether I agreed or disagreed. You can't talk to anybody at Facebook. You can't email. You can't message. Anyway, whoops, that was the news notification coming in. It was very loud. And so I forgot what I was going to say. Because that's what I do. sorry. Oh yes, Facebook. So Facebook, thanks Richard, he's tagging Andrew as well. So there was no option. All I could do was say I disagreed. They said I had been a naughty girl and I'd breached the rules. I hadn't done anything I hadn't ordinarily done. And I assumed that, it was a troll. Because that's what happens. When you put your head above the parapet, you get these silly, jealous people who don't like it and then try and spoil it for you. Let's move that. I don't like that junk in the background. Do you? That's why I had it on the other box. But, well, we got a bit of junk in the... It's not junk, actually. It is craft stuff. We'll have to have it like that, all right? Does that work? Is that working okay? Right, we'll do it. I'll try and get a better setup, but at least I'm live anyway. So... Yes, so Facebook. Couldn't do the live stream, could I? And couldn't talk to anybody about it. And I said to my son, do you know what? If my it said, if we uphold the suspension, then we will disable your account forever. But if not, then we'll put it back again. Well, there was no way I could argue with it. And the thing is, my son's always told me, build on your own real estate, which is why he said have a website. He is sorting me out that new blog site. I'm going to have a simple blog site where I put my live streams up and any information I want to tell you. We'll do it that way. And but he's getting there, but he's been very busy this week. Is there a G2 I Spy there? Yes, there is. Gaz has spotted my new Gemini machine. There we go. That's my Gemini machine. Yes. And normally, well, I've got my tablet here. The tablet goes up there. I was going to try and watch on the second screen, but I watch Crafter's Companion on here while they're doing the tutorials while I'm using the Gemini. And for anybody who doesn't know, this is a die cutter. So what you do is you put some dies. Wait a minute, have I got some dies? Yes, there must be some dies on my table somewhere. Oh, I can't. Right, there's not a die in this packet, but see that little carriage, princess carriage. You put that on a piece of card in there with some plates. Open it up, in it goes, and it cuts out the shapes for me. So that's why I get all these lovely things that I put up photographs for you to see. The only trolls you like are Moomin Troll and Moomin Books. Absolutely, Richard. Yes, but we have trolls. So I can only assume it was a troll. And they do it to people who've got bigger audiences. And I don't have a huge audience, but I do have a bigger audience than some people. And what happened was Facebook suddenly decided to reinstate me. And I can only assume that a troll reported me for something I didn't do. And then Facebook looked and realised I didn't do it. And so put me back. But then after that, I got a few messages because I put something online about, oh dear, Facebook banned me. I put something up there. And then some people started telling me to go and contact some person that I hadn't, some people I didn't know started telling me to contact some person I didn't know, to help me get it right. I don't do that. That's probably some scammy old thing. I just got on and did it myself and just told my son about it. So I'm back online, but we will have a website soon. So yes, Gaz, you do see the Gemini 2. And the Gemini 2 is a new machine that quite a lot of us in the crafting world have got. Now, I'm going to have a job to do. I've got nothing to balance it on it. My knee, but my knees are dodgy. My knees are wonky. So, oh, I haven't got the main thing in here that I wanted to show you. Talk amongst yourselves. I got to go back to the other room. I've left it on the floor. Hang on, because I wanted to show you. But I want a swivel chair in here because I need to push my chair back. But I haven't yet got a swivel chair. So I'm going to have to lift myself up and move the chair. I will be back. Don't go anywhere. Talk amongst yourselves. She's coming back. She didn't run away. I have to come in carefully because I've got all sorts of things piled up on the floor while I'm doing all the sorting of my craft room. But here I am. And look, this is what was in the other room. So this is the first item from the bag. You know what? I think I need to put the light on because it's going to get dark, isn't it? There we go. That's it. We have light now. So look what I have got. So let's see. Hello, Michaela. Nice to see you. So look, this is a tote bag. It's a crafter's companion bag. You might have guessed because it's purple, and it's a tote bag, and it was on offer. See, it says crafter's companion on the front over here, and it was on offer the other day. And normally when they have these things on offer, they might have some goodies in it, but they say, oh, but you don't get the goodies as well. Well, this time I got the goodies that were in it, so I'm going to have to get the box off the floor. Hang on, let's put that up there. Oh, I've got so many goodies. Oh no, that's a pile of paper that's going to collapse. I've got a lot of half-made greetings cards here. Let's put those up there. If I have an avalanche, well, we'll have a look. No, let's take it off there for a minute. Let's put it down there. So, let's... oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. I just giggled then because years ago when I first started doing videos and live streams, somebody had a go at me. Hello, Heather. Nice to see you. Heather, Gaz is in as well. So Heather and Gaz are both people I've met through the Crafter's Companion world. And Heather is, I think, in the States, aren't you, Heather? And Gaz is here on the Isle of Wight. So anyway, so wait a minute. We get plenty of bubble wrap it, nice wrapping. And I have a corner, in the corner of my craft room, I keep all this because when I have to parcel something up, I use the bubbles and put them in the parcels. And guess what? I always have lots of lovely boxes. I can't think why. Crafter's Companion boxes are so lovely and strong. So, right, let's see. Popped into Newport today and admired the Constables, the cornfield on loan from the National Gallery. Yes, so my Kath is telling us there is a scheme. Sorry, you those of you who don't know me, I go off at a tangent all the time. You will see what's in the box in a minute, but I like to try and keep up with the comments because we're a chatty community here and we like to share information. So my brother, it's funny because my brother messaged me and sent me a picture of his wife standing by Constable's the cornfield, you know, famous painting from the National Gallery. Well, there's this scheme where they're taking some of the National Gallery paintings out and displaying them around the country. And we have this one in Newport. So there's this display in Newport. And I'd sort of seen it but forgotten about it because don't forget, I'm in recovery. Whereas once upon a time I would have seen something and put it in my diary and said, oh, I must go and live stream that. I'm not back. I'm not in that mode because I'm still recovering from pneumonia and being seriously ill. So I'm just taking it a bit at a time. And if I have a day when I just want to sit down and do nothing, then I have a day and I just sit down and do nothing. It's totally up to me because I live on my own and it doesn't concern anybody else. But Kath, Kath, funnily enough, messaged me just after my brother messaged me and said, oh, we're going to go and see the Constable. In fact, my brother had sent a message. So he hadn't put the picture up first of all. He said, oh, we've just seen a constable on the high street, which could be quite a rarity because, you know, you don't see the police very often around. And it was his way of a little joke. And the new commissioner for police for the Isle of Wight and Hampshire has said she's going to put a lot more police on the streets. But it was him being funny. That was so it wasn't a constable as in a policeman. It was a constable painting. And so I'm hoping I might get over tomorrow. It depends. It's very hot out there, or it has been today, and I don't think that would do me a whole great deal if it's mega hot and I go trotting off on the bus, because I know that when I went to the Riverfest I was wiped out by the time I'd been to Newport and back. So I'm going to assess it. I think the exhibition's on tomorrow and the next day. I think it's on Sunday as well. So I will see. So I might get there and I might live stream. But that was a little aside. But Kath read and she liked it. It's only this constable painting being shipped across five cities. Oh, right. So it's just one painting being shipped around. So what else is in the exhibition? Is there anything else there, Kath, to see, or is it just one painting to go and see? It would be interesting to know so I could see what I want to do. Anyway, let's have a look and see what's in this box. Then I can put the box down. So this tote bag had 3 essentials in it. So let me show you now what I had in. Oh, what was the free essentials? Hang on. Oh, I know. Yes. So in the free, some of the things that were free with the bag, foam on a roll. Now I'm going to sing foam on a roll, foam on a roll, and I'm going to stop now because Heather and Gaz will know what I'm referring to. Anytime somebody says foam on a roll on the broadcast, people burst into the most hideous sort of song about foam on a roll. Craig hates it. He's one of the demonstrators and the presenters. He hates it. I think it's becoming a bit worn out again now. Foam on a roll. Look, Heather's put 4 foam on a roll. So I have foam on a roll. I have a reel like this. This thin foam on a roll is really good for making shaker cards. So, and I have a shaker card, or part of a shaker card here. Oh, that was interesting. Look, that's a shaker card for anybody who doesn't know. Whoops. Can you see? That's a perfume bottle. And can you see? I don't know. The light might be shining on it, but there's little shaker. Let's give it a good old shake. I think the light's getting on it. But those you can't see very well. But those, I might try to do it up here. Don't know. The light's shining on it. There's little bits of sequins in there, and when you shake it, they shake about. Perfume bottle. It is a cute perfume bottle. It is. Oh, thank you, Gaz. It's the first. No, it's the second shaker card I ever made. I made my friend Yvonne a shaker card, and she's the one we're trying to get into the broadcast. But I don't think she's come in yet, has she? So that was a shaker card. That was a shaker card, and that foam on a roll is very good because what you do. Whoa! I've had an avalanche. All my cards have just fallen on the floor. Don't worry about it, folks. I can pick them up afterwards. So this sort of foam is great when you're doing a project like this, because I cut out the back of the perfume bottle, then I cut out the front of the perfume bottle and put some shiny card in behind, and then there's acetate here, and the acetate holds the little shaker bits in, but you have to raise the front piece of card up, otherwise they wouldn't shake. So you have to give it depth. So in there, in the side there, is foam. It's not on a roll. It came off the roll and it went in there. So that's what that's for. Here's some other foam on a roll, and this is a wider one, and this is for adding dimension to cards if you want to not have your card totally flat. And I've started doing some cards where they, you put a. I should have had some. I haven't got them near enough to catch them. I'll have to show you some more at some stage. But that gives, you can raise your card up so you can have a background, and then you can give it dimension by putting the next bit on foam and raising it up. I hope you understand what I mean. I'm not sure if you do. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Whoops, hang on. Oh, I've not. And do you know what? I've balanced you on my phone on a rack, and behind my phone, because you're in a rack the phone doesn't fill the whole space. I've got 2 rocker blocks behind you, and a rocker block. This is a rocker block. This is a rocker block, and what we do is we put our stamps, our rubber stamps. So I've got bigger ones behind the phone, but you put a rubber stamp on there, and then you put ink on it. Then you rock it on the card. You put it on the card and rock it, and then it will do something like I was doing here. See, those are sentiments to go on cards. That says if the shoe fits, and I'll show you my shoe cards that some of you saw me post online the other day. So we've got foam on a roll twice. We have a glue tape pen. These are brilliant. So we have also. Did you know there's a thing called Glue School? Did you know that? And when I started with Crafter's Companion, I didn't know which glue to use for which thing, so I had to attend Glue School. and so this is a tape pen. So we have tape pen for gluing. We have foam on a roll for gluing. We have this one. This is a bottle. This one got left out of a previous order. So this is all-purpose glue here. Then you have tacky glue. Oh my goodness, I had to learn what all the differences were. You know, some things like so I'm talking. I know some of you from Crafters Companion, but some of them are not, so they won't understand all the differences. But if you've got some glitter card or some mirror card, you shouldn't use your all-purpose glue on it because it takes the surface off. So you know, there's all these different reasons for which different glues you have. I'm not going to go into all the glues now. Oh, another of the glues, I don't know if I've got one in here, is a red liner tape. And that's very good for a lot of things as well. So some of the glues are wet glues and then they dry, but they give you wiggle room. I do like a bit of wiggle room, you know, which means if you put your picture on and it's not quite ready to go, you can wiggle it and before it dries. But if you use red liner tape or the foam tapes and things like that, it sticks instantly. So you know, but there we go. So all these bits. So the not the glue, because that was from leftover. It got left out of a previous order. But these other bits I'm showing you all came free with my tote bag. I've lost my tote bag. Where did I put my tote bag? Oh, there, down there. So I've got an edge crimper. Now I know I bought one of these once before. If you disappear, hang on, you're having trouble with the signal. Just don't stop. Just won't stop. Oh, sorry, Kath. So if you disappear, you'll have to catch the replay. Okay, don't worry. I hope you don't disappear in a dark hole or anything. So an edge crimper. So an edge crimper is for going around the edge of cards and giving them a bit of a distressed look. This might be all foreign language to some of you, but I'll have to craft and show you when I'm crafting. Now I'm getting more confidence. I can actually craft. I might be able to craft while I'm chatting to you. You love your edge distresser, yes. So I bought one of these, but wherever it is, I don't know. But now I've got another one because it came free in the tote bag. So I'm really pleased. The other one will turn up now, you bet. But it doesn't matter. It's always good to have more than one. This afternoon, I was crafting, although this is my lovely new craft room, I was crafting in my lounge on the sofa because I have, as you know, those of you who know, I live in a flat that sits on two garages, and in that room I have a French door. Well, it's a Juliet balcony, you know, it's not a proper balcony, but it's French doors with a false balcony at the front, and I can have that open, and there's much more air circulating on a day like today. So I was crafting in there, and I took my tablet in there and put it on a stand. So I was watching, and I was cutting out a lot of little shapes ready for die cutting. So anyway, also in going in the bag is a bone folder. No, both bone folders. So these are perfect for scoring and folding. So when you're making cards, sometimes you know you have to score down. And I have scoreboards and all sorts of things where you can score down and make lines, all sorts. And then you have to, what they do, the language that I've learned since I've been with a Crafter's Companion is brilliant. So I didn't know what burnishing was. I didn't know what scoring meant or any of that stuff. Now I know it all. I know lots of it. And so you fold and then you burnish it, which means you run a bone folder along it. I don't know how these things get their names. You run a bone folder along it to make a nice sharp crease on it. So those items, there's not a lot more in here, but those items all came free with this bag, this tote bag. And this tote bag, I don't know how much it normally retails at, but it was $15.99. But it came with all these goodies free. I don't know what these are worth. As I say, sometimes they demonstrate the bags and then they say, but you don't get the goodies that go in it. But I've got all the goodies, all these goodies going in there. And the crimper and the tape. There was a tape pen. There was a tape pen in there as well. Hang on. Did I bring the tape pen out? Did I? I think I might have dropped the tape. Did I show you the tape? Well, there's a tape. Yes, I did. The tape pen went in there as well. But this bag, I wanted this bag because, I'm going to take the things out again, because it's actually got pockets all the way around it. It's a lovely bag, and it's purple, and you know my favourite colour is purple. But look what it will do. It will take my mini machine. This is a little Gemini Mini, and this is a little bit, that's an electric machine. This is a hand one, and this one, if I just want to cut out some little shapes, sometimes it's much quicker to just do them on the Mini. But you know, if you've got a bag there, if you're going off somewhere, you can take your craft bits with you. Look. So I can take my Mini, and there's still lots. I don't know if the MIDI goes in here. I've got another machine here. I'm not going to pick it up because I think I need to do it with two hands because my wrist's not very strong. And the MIDI is one size up from the Mini. So they all come into their own, all these things. So yes, so that's that was one lot of stuff that was in the box. And then I thought I would try, let's see, hello Michaela, nice to see you there. I thought I would get some masket tape. So certainly if you're wanting to mask part of a picture off, you know, you put this, I've really got to study it all, but you know, if you're trying to ink something and you don't want to ink the whole piece of card, you can put masking tape across it to stop the ink going where you don't want it to. So that, I thought that was quite good to have, and I think it came up on a good offer. I've forgotten what the offer was. I don't know. Does it tell me? Does it tell me what the basket tape 2-pack? Oh, £6.39. I'm not quite sure what they normally retail at, but I thought I'd have that in. And then here, last bit of the box. It's actually not got a lot of stuff in this box. Usually when I shop, I have lots more than this, but then some really good bundles. But I didn't really want to get much this time, so I just got that. But this is a set of 4 edgeables, and these are beautiful. So look at these. So can you see that these butterflies cut through on the edge of a card? And can you see the picture? They've made a beautiful card in the picture with those. So that's the cascading butterflies. And then we have woodland fairy. You see? I haven't made any many edgeable cards yet. Have you guys? Have you made edgeables? Heather, have you made edgeables? I don't know how long you've been crafting, Heather. I think Gaz is fairly recent to crafting, aren't you, Gaz? This is a bonny bow. Look, a bonny bow that goes on the side of a card. So I will have to make some of these and show you. And then spring tulips. There we go. See, so those were on an offer. Let me think, what were they? Let me see. Right, so that set was £9.58, which is jolly good because one of those might cost you that sort of money normally. So I always buy these things. You've seen me get some really fantastic deals I've unboxed in the past. So these will go into, I've got dies and stamps. I've got some there and some there and some there and some here and some here and some here and some over there and some over there. Then I've got paper pads over there, and I've all sorts of craft stuff. I will give you a tour when I finish clearing the bits off the floor. I'll do a tour of the craft. It's not a very big room. so I'm here. I'm about halfway across, right, from there to here, and then there's the same distance the other side. But I've tried to fit it in really well. I don't. Let's see if you can see that. See this? That. This is the size of some bookcases. I used to sell books, children's books, for a living when I finished being a teacher. I used to go around the country selling children's books. Had loads and loads of bookcases. And then somehow they ended up, because I'd moved many times since then, some of them ended up at my mum's house and then they were taken to bits and all sorts. Anyway, I ended up recently with various bits of bookshelves, and some of them, big ones like that, and there were some shelves, and I was going to try and put it together. I tried to put it together, but I didn't seem to have enough of the right bits, and then I knew I wasn't going to be able to lift it up on my own. Don't forget, I'm still recovering from pneumonia, and I should be being very careful. Gaz, I apologise. Gaz has been crafting for 18 years on and off. You made a few edible cards in your time. Sorry, are you new to Crafter's Companion, or I just got the impression that you were new to crafting? Apologies, Gaz, about that. I didn't realise I got it wrong. Never mind. I often do get things wrong. And so you've got them as well, Andrea. Have you? Right, that's lovely. And anybody who wants to go and join Crafter's Companion and have a look, I've got a link down the bottom. I have an affiliate link for anybody who hasn't already joined Crafter's Companion. So that just means that it doesn't cost you anymore, but it might give me a few pennies. You're fairly new to CC. Right. It's okay. You usually am mistaken for a new craft. I beg your pardon, Gaz. And Gaz did like me, Gaz did was on one of the craft alongs recently. I've been lucky enough to be on 2 craft alongs, and then Gaz was on one. And it's always nice to see who the other people are, because when we're watching, I watch Crafter's Companion on YouTube. They're on Facebook and YouTube the same as I am, but I watch on YouTube, and so I get to see the same people and chat in the chat, like you're chatting in the chat now. I will be chatting in the chat when I'm watching Crafter's Companion. And we've built up a lot of friendships, and it's been really nice. And Heather came and found my YouTube channel after she saw me on the craft along, and I didn't know that you'd found me as well, Gaz, but here you are. That's lovely. It's so nice to sort of chat elsewhere and have these interests and things. So that's what was in my box. Not the most exciting box in the land. Some of the ones you've seen have been much more exciting, but I will love my little tote bag and my little mini. I mean, I think I'll keep it for myself. You never know. I might give it to my grandchildren, because I gave them a mini Gemini mini last time I saw them, and they're going to be very excited when I see them soon. I'm going to see them soon. I'm going to spend a week at my daughter's, and because I convinced myself I didn't want a new machine. Right? I said, no, you can't justify buying the new machine because you've only had the previous machine to this not that long. And I was resisting it, and I thought, no, don't want it. But I still watch. I like to see what other people are getting. And then the more I thought about it, and the justifying thing was, I mean, it does no more pressure. It can't cut anything better than it cut before, because they'd already got the maximum pressure. You did the exact same thing. Those days you just showed a beautiful paper piece. I will. Oh, right. Paper. Yes, I think so. Heather's saying they'd be nice paper piece. What she means is, when you cut this out of the edge of a card, then if you cut it again and paste a different colour piece of paper in there. I've never done paper piecing yet, Heather, so I'll have to have a try at that one. And that bow I know would be very beautiful done like that. I didn't know if I'd got the patience for paper piecing, but something like that wouldn't be too bad. I've got patience for lots of things, but not necessarily for that. But anyway, so the craft of the Gemini 2, the reason I convinced myself was on the old machine, they didn't have anything like this. You put the plates in, and then you had to get to the other side of your machine and grab the plates as they came out the other side, because they would either fall out of the machine. But what they've done on this one, they listened to what everybody wanted, and they've given us a drop down bit, and the same on the back. And this is a storage unit, which is very handy for all your bits and pieces in there, and on the back. And then there's a bit in here where I've got the pokey tools in here. No crafter should ever be out without their pokey tool, or at least one or two. I've got lots of pokey tools because I'm always mislaying them. That's a pokey tool. So when you put your dies, so there's a die. So if you put the die into the machine, actually you can see on this one. Don't know if we've got enough light. Can you see that there's still some paper in? look, some paper bits in there. And to get those bits out of the die, a pokey tool is just the job. So you just, whoops, I've got some tape on here that's preventing me poking them out. Never mind. Oh, but some of them have come out now. So pokey tool's good for getting the back off red liner tape and all sorts of other things. But don't poke yourself with it. It's very sharp. And they do come with a cover to put on. But I always lose those on the floor. Like that. It would have two ends to it. And of course it's purple because the branding is purple. So you can do it. I'll have a go, Heather. I will have a go at the edibles because I got quite a lot of them. So I, you know, in the other room I've got more. We've got more stamps and dies in the other room. All of the wonderful features of the Gemini 2 sold, Heather, as well. Yours is never closed. I close mine up so I don't bang my arm on it. I only open it up. But the other thing that sold me too, I mean, one of the things was that they split the payment over 4 months because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to have it anyway. So that was really good and no interest added on. So that worked for me. And what else was it? On the back, it's got three USB ports. And again, I didn't think, oh, wow, I must have a machine with USB ports on. It wasn't important. I could plug my things in elsewhere. Do you know, it is so useful. I've got my phone. My phone is plugged in to the back of the machine. That tablet is usually plugged in from there. So, I mean, it's, and the thing is, it comes with a turntable, but I haven't put my turntable on because what they did, they've put glidey feet on it. Look, it just glides. Whoops, it glides. And Leanne, who's at Crafter's Companion, so she decided that it was a good idea. She went to buy a new sofa. And of course, sofas are heavy to move, aren't they? This is a story she told us. Sofas are very heavy to move. And so in the shop, they said, do you want glide feet on your sofa? And she thought, what a good idea. And then she translated that to how easy would it be to just push your machine? Because the one this is replacing is quite heavy to lift. But this, now you see, it's going to stay here. And it's just going to, so I could have the turntable on it, but I don't want to be bothered to put here's the turntable. I can screw it on, but I'm not going to at the moment. And so I just swivel it round. And because, you know, I'm behind it at the moment, the plates would, this was, whoa. This was what I made on the craft along. Whoops. Let's put that on. I made this lovely box on the craft along and I stood it on the radiator because it's not winter time. I stood it on the radiator, and of course if I let the plates go through, they bump into that. I'll have to find somewhere else to put that. My first craft along was a beautiful Cinderella type card with acetate. Some of you saw it, but I sent it to my granddaughter who was turning 4. I was going to make her another one, and then I ran out of time. Make her own one, and I ran out of time, so I posted the one I made on the craft along, and she loved it. I did lose a shoe. One of the Cinderella shoes fell off, and I think I must have cut another one out and stuck it on. And then yesterday I found the original shoe, like you do. But never mind, it can go on and somewhere else. And so the final deciding factor was that because I'd already bought another machine before, my grandchildren don't have an electric machine. They only have the hand machines. And I thought, wow, wouldn't that be? They've all, this is my daughter's children. She's got 4 children. And there's 3 girls and a boy, and they all love crafting. And they've just had some work done in their house. And so they've now got a room for the like a children's, I won't say playroom because the children are getting too big to be in a playroom as such, but you know, their own sort of lounge area. I mean, they can go in the lounge with mum and dad, but they've now got their own area where they can do their crafting and all that sort of thing. And so I think the Gemini, the old Gemini that's not so old, will be the perfect addition. So I'm hoping to manage to get that across when I go soon. Yes, so that was the final thing that sold me. This is me saying I don't need one of these machines, but since I've had it, I have done so much work on it. Let me show you some of the things I've done. I can't show you too many because I haven't got them here, but some of you will know that I've been making shoes. Let's put them up here. Shoes. They were on my, some of you saw on my Facebook page that I'd put them on my computer. Look, aren't they lovely? Shoes. And I'm making these, I'm making them to give to a charity to raise funds. So I'm going to put some of these on flat onto a card and make a nice card with these on. Wait a minute, there's loads in here. Let's put the books down. Look, I've got loads and loads of them cut out. So I'm going to make some cards with them on. Look, purple, my favourite. So that one, what have I got? Oh, they're getting caught up with each other. Look, that one's rather glam. And I can embellish them with jewels and things as well. So I'm going to make lots of shoe cards, and then I'm going to, some of them I might actually cut out and make as a card that opens, you know, it folds open so it becomes a shoe, that an opening card. I'm open to lots of suggestions as to, you know, tips and hints on. I've been trying to Google it to find some ideas as to what to do. There's a load of stamps. So that's the packet they came out of, the shoe, and there's oh, they're not in there, but I was using yesterday. I was getting very inky, and I was stamping up a lot of the sentiments that come on the rubber stamps that go with them. And so some of the sentiments were, if the shoe fits. That's what was on that one. I don't know where the rest of these are. I've tacked them up. I've tidied them up, but of course I've got all the computer stuff on my desk at the minute, so I can't find them. But there are lots of stamps and things like that. So I'm glad you like those cards, Heather. That's nice. There are so many cards I want to try, but I'm still trying to make space, you know, to work. So what I was telling you about my craft room, I've got a 4 foot folding table, 4 foot that way and 2 foot this way here, but I've got a desk that's wider than that. So I used to have a big desk, you know, one of those great big desks, and decided I didn't need it. It was too big for my flat, etc., etc. So we took the desk apart, and the top was going to go out, and it was standing in this doorway against this door. And my son came down recently, and I said, oh, I'm trying to get a new craft area and I want to make a new craft space. And I said, and he said, well, what's that doing there? I said, oh, it's going out. He said, why are you sending it out when you want a craft table? But of course we had taken away the bits that went underneath it because it wasn't suitable for my needs. So what I've done, I've got a go pack table under here. That's one of those folding ones. So that's that's underneath it. So this is balanced on the table. I mean, it's all very solid. So it's balanced on the table. So there's loads of space under there for tucking things that need to be tucked in that I don't need immediately. And then of course I had these bookcases that I couldn't put the bookcase together. I didn't have all the right bits and it wasn't going to go. So I decided that the shelves were all under my sofa. Now my sofa, I've got 2 sofas, and they are both in front of my Kallax units and flat against the Kallax units in the lounge. And in the Kallax units, I've got reams, and not reams, you don't have reams of wool, do you? Balls and balls and balls of wool in all the Kallax units. They're in the cubes. I've got cubes in them now. I had them open, and then it looked a bit untidy. So as I've gone along, I've bought some of the cubes to put in, make it look tidy. And then I'm going to craft the outside with something lovely, maybe letters and something to say what's inside each cube. So I'm going to get crafty on the outside at some stage soon. But the shelves that went with that are heavy shelves, and they were under the sofa. And if I wanted to get to the wool, I had to pull all the shelves out from under the sofa and then pull the sofa out in order to get to the wool. So that was meaning I didn't want to do it much, because of course I haven't been well and I shouldn't be, doing too much. So and then I decided, well, I needed to get rid of the bits of the shelves. I don't want them under there. And so what I've done, I've got them as shelves here. But of course, they had no struts, did they? Because they were supposed to fix onto a bookcase. But what I did, my brother had bought me loads of tins of food. More than I need in one go. So at the moment, I have tins of carrot, tins of kidney beans, tins of peas, mushy peas and things. And they are, so I've put four tins, 2 and 2, and then I've put a shelf. Then I put some more tins and I've put a shelf. If ever I get hungry, I've got to dismantle my shelves. So I've got shelves there, and shelves there, all done that way. So these lot are on my desk, and then over there I have a cupboard that it's got a top, but I took the top off it because it was one of those. It was wide at the bottom, but very narrow at the top, so you couldn't stack the stuff so well going all the way up. It was an ornate thing on the top, so I took it down, put it on my landing. Well, then I wanted the landing space. I was thinking I was going to put Kallax units on the top of that, but I didn't. I put a spare Kallax unit on the top of the unit over there, and that works well. But I couldn't get a second one on the top. A, it would be too high up for me, and B, I've got sloping roof, so my roof slopes, so you could only get half the Kallax unit in. I'd have to cut it up, and I didn't want to do that. So I've made it work over there. I'll show you when I've finished tidying. I'll do a proper look round. But there's an awful lot of. It's like an Aladdin's cave in here. For a crafter, it would be totally Aladdin's cave, because I've got paper stuff, I've got sewing stuff because I used to sew. I've got all sorts, ribbons and threads, and you name it, I've done it. I've even probably got some plaster of Paris stuff in here, and some. I don't think the cement's in here. I think the cement's in the garage, because I made some garden gnomes the year before last to go in the garden. If you need help with an organisation, thank you, Gaz. That's lovely, because I do live on my own, and one or two of these things sometimes. So what I was going to say about the top that I should have gone on that cupboard over there. It was on the landing, and then I wanted to put something else on the landing. I have got several of those lovely, all those lovely rainbow drawers. The sets of drawers that are rainbows that are on wheels. I've got 4 of those, which is fantastic for putting the paper in and all that sort of thing. And they're easy for me to move around, because they're on wheels. So they've been moved here and there to see where they best fit. Well, I wanted to put one of them on the two. Well, I've got 4 rainbow ones, and then I've got a wooden one that I used to have years ago in my nursery school with drawers that come out, but on wheel. So they're on the landing. So this other thing I had to get rid of it off the landing, because I wanted to put those things on the landing. So like my gran, I'm so like my gran. She used to move furniture and do all these things, but she used to do it an inch at a time. So you don't hurt yourself, just a little bit at a time. And so that's how I moved that unit into the other room, because I had nowhere else to put it. And I thought, well, what am I going to do with it? So I decided in the end, I've got a table in the other room that backs onto a bookcase, and I thought, well, I could stand it up on the table and use it for storage against the bookcase. I think that will work without it being dangerous or falling down. So that's what I was going to do, but I couldn't lift it, and I wasn't going to damage myself because I'm not being very well. So I managed to put a chair, and I managed to get it apart onto the chair and then up onto the table, lying on its side. So instead of having shelves that way, I've got divisions that way. And I'm using it as storage, but what I thought, well, I'm a paper crafter, aren't I? What I need to do is make some boxes that fit in those shelves going that way, out of my mount board and, you know, my crafty stuff. So that's on the agenda. That's one of the plans to do. If I ever do it, well, we'll see. But so, you know, it solved the problem of what I was going to do with that cupboard, and I've got better storage on top of the base that it was on. I've got better storage here. I've got all sorts of sweet tins, you know, the tins, the celebration, those round celebration tins, and all sorts of tins that we've had that used to have goodies in them. They've still got goodies in them, but not edible goodies anymore. They've got nice crafty bits in them. Your room is labelled and organised to within an inch. Guys, that would never happen. I am never going to be that organised. I'm 72 now, guys. You can have a try, but I don't think I don't think I will ever be as organised as that. I happen to know where most of my stuff is, but I don't. You know, I don't have to. And that's the beauty of it, isn't it? We are all different. My dad used to talk about. So you're new to my broadcast, Gaz and Heather, but other people in my broadcast will know that sometimes Bertie Bassett appears in my screen. I must bring him in here. He's in the other room, but I must bring him in because Bertie Bassett. I have quite a few Bertie Bassett things, and it reminds me of my dad. My dad was a local preacher. He passed in 2010, but he was at the grand old age of 89, and I was almost 60, and I count my blessings as to how lucky I was to have my mum and my dad still alive when I was almost 60. So my dad died just before Father's Day in 2010, and I still have the Father's Day card and present I bought him. It brings a smile to my face because it was a plaque that went on the wall. These days I would make it out of craft stuff, but the plaque said something. You laugh because I'm. No, I laugh because you're my dad. I forgot it. It's. But I smile because you can't. There's nothing you can do about it. It's something like that. I can't remember the exact thing, and it makes me laugh every time. So you know, I was very, very close to my dad, and we had a wonderful father-daughter relationship, and it was just amazing. So but what I was going to say was he used to be what do you call it? A lay preacher is one of the terms for it. A local preacher, I think we called it in the Methodist Church. He was a local preacher, and he used to go to church with licorice, all sorts. Hence Bertie Bassett, because Bertie Bassett, obviously, the character that those of you I don't know abroad. Hello, Angela. Nice to see you. Those of you who are abroad, I don't know if you know. Do you know licorice, all sorts? I smile because you're my dad, but I laugh because there's nothing you can do about it. Thank you, Heather. I knew somebody would help me out. It's just wonderful when you help me out like that. Heather says, you have a sign on your craft room door that says, creative clutter is better than idle neatness. Oh, I love it. I love it. You... Oh, I do like that. I sure do have creative clutter. Yes, so do I. And Angela says she's got that stamp. I put that one on one of my son's birthday cards. So it actually wasn't a stamp. It was actually before my paper crafting days, and it was actually something I bought in a local shop. But Dad, and it's funny because I was never organised in the buying of cards way before people's birthdays. I was a last minute lil, always have been a last minute lil. So I can't understand why the year he died, I was organised and I had managed to buy his card. Maybe there was something in it. he was ill. We knew he hadn't got long to go, you know, but you don't know, do you, how long people will last and hang on and whatever. But anyway, I've still got them. I must put them up on the wall because it will make me laugh again. I've got a so going back to why I started this conversation about Bertie Bassett. For those people who don't know, my dad used to take the licorice all sorts into church and hand them out, and reminding us that we are all sorts of people. And that's where I was starting with, because Gary is obviously very organised, and Heather and I are obviously the other side of the camp. we're perhaps not so organised in our crafting. I'm a messy crafter. I did some inking yesterday, and I had ink all over my. I didn't put my fingers in the ink pad, but how did I get ink all over my fingers? I don't know. But you know, it is what it is. What I did find, because I was having this mega sort out to get all the craft stuff, not the craft stuff, the stuff I wanted to send to the charity shop. I was going through bags and finding all sorts of treasures. I had lost these big number dies, and they're fantastic for cards and things. And I had lost these letter dies as well, the capital letters. Not the, I got the lowercase ones, and I thought, well, where have they gone? I can't find them anywhere. But there was loads and loads and loads of stuff in my bedroom that I needed to sort. I've been playing this a bit like this game of Tetris, where if I move that, I can get to there, and if I move that, I can do this, and if I move that, you know. And my flat's been like that since I had all this. Well, it's been untidy. You know, I'm not a tidy person. I will never try and pretend that I am, because you know, I think you can see. But after my mum died, a load of stuff was dumped here in my flat that had been hers, without the option for me to go and sort it somewhere else, which should have been what happened, but it didn't. And we won't go into that because it's ancient history. It wasn't a pleasant part of my life. Anyway, Mum died 2 years ago, and it's, you know, first of all, the first year I didn't even want to do anything about it. You know, it was just there, and I didn't want to do anything about it. You know, a grieving process has to be done, doesn't it? And then of course I started to do it, and then I got ill with pneumonia, and I wasn't doing anything except just trying to bring myself back to, you know, some human person. And I mean, great job that NHS did, because apparently when I arrived there I would have died if I hadn't got in when I did. So fortunately I took the option to ring 111 when my doctor wouldn't give me an appointment, or would give me an appointment, but a week and a half later would have been too late, because I wouldn't be here talking to you now. But I decided that I didn't want to pop my clogs yet. So anyway, I live to tell the tale, as you can tell. And now I'm back. You know, this week I've had some sort of energy boost this week, because I was, you know, I'd have a good day, and then if I had a fairly, I don't say very busy day, because I don't do very busy days at the moment. Mind you, it might be my days are very busy against some people's days, but I don't know. Anyway, I was having, if I'd had a very, you know, a day where perhaps I'd gone out, then the next day I would crash, and not unpleasantly, but just sit and do very little, watch craft shows, and maybe cut a few bits and pieces out, but nothing too much. So anyway, I seem to have this energy boost this week, and I've had more than one day in a row where I've sort of really got on and done things. So hence why at least six bags of stuff went out to the charity shop, which was amazing. I think there's still more to go to the charity shop, but that's what I managed to get done. And so while I was sitting in the bedroom, and I've got seats all around because I'm not supposed to stand, and because I've been ill anyway, I make sure I've got seats within reach of everywhere I go around my flat. And I was sitting in there going through a bag, and hey presto, I found my letters, and I found my my numbers. That was brilliant. But I've also got some number dies that are even bigger than great big ones like that. You know, great big ones that I found, that I got when they were on a bargain, and they will be used again and again and again. Excuse me, I'm going to have a little drink. Let's have a little drink. Oh, that's it. Let's put it there. I hope not. I was trying to find my water bottle in case I knocked the water. Oh, Facebook use. Hi, Lynn and everyone. So whoever's come in on Facebook and said, hi, Lynn and everyone, can you identify yourself? Because I don't know who you are. Mag said she didn't know about that, and she's so glad that I rang and that they helped you. Absolutely, Mags. And I will tell anybody, if you have any issues with the doctor, dial 111. But it was even worse than that, because I had been coughing, and yes, Kath saying my GP surgery, unbelievable. Now, before I went to hospital, I had been coughing badly for 3 weeks, and I was trying to live stream through the coughing, and my audience said, Lynn, you need to go to the doctors. So on that occasion, I said, all right, I will. So I may, because I was coughing nearly every other word. It was very difficult to live stream like that. So I rang the doctors, and they said, oh, well, we'll see you next week. So it was a week. You know, they say if you've had a bad cough for 3 weeks, go and see the doctor. They don't say wait another week before you see the doctor, but that's what happened. I was given an appointment a week away later. So I was a good girl, and I waited, and I went to the doctor. I didn't see a doctor. I saw a nurse practitioner who listened to my chest, said there was nothing wrong with me. I didn't need any antibiotics, and so that was fine. Bye. Goodbye. Well, I didn't know, did I? So I went away, and I didn't get any better. I got worse and worse. And then one day I felt so bad. I was ill. I was sitting in Pickle and Dill in Union Street. I had an appointment with Councillor May to discuss something to do with local business and something that I felt needed addressing. And we were having a chat, and I struggled even to talk to him. Oh, it's Ailey. Hello, Ailey. Nice to see you in. So I struggled. I was struggling to talk to Councillor May. And again, coughing every other word. And so we had our meeting, and then I went down the road, and I thought, oh, I'll pop into Pickle and Dill and have a coffee. And then I thought, oh, well, I might have my lunch. I ordered my lunch, most beautiful food, but I couldn't have it. I felt so ill. I asked them to put it in a doggy bag, but I never did eat it because I was so ill. And I was sitting in there, and I just thought, do you know what? I can't go on anymore. I've got to see the doctor. So I rang the doctors from Pickle and Dill, and they said, I said, can I have an appointment? Oh, yes, you can have an appointment next week. What they said was, we'll see you next week. I said, no, you won't. I said, not if I've got anything to do with it. I don't think I said it quite like that because I was so ill. And I said, no, I will, you can make an appointment, but I'm not coming. And so I rang 111. They asked me loads of questions, and they said, can you get to the hospital? So I said, I'm sure I can get my brother to bring me in. And so I rang my brother, and he came over from Newport, and he lives not far from the hospital, but he came from Newport to Ryde and picked me up, and then took me to the hospital, got me into the emergency department. And then we were sent we were told we were in the wrong place and were sent somewhere else, and then we were sent back again. So that was a bit of faffing. But after that, they took me in, and the rest, well, they were marvellous, absolutely marvellous. I can't knock them. They were so good. They saved my life. They definitely saved my life. Yeah, Kath is saying I was so ill. And what I was going to say, the fact that I'd seen Councillor May, I saw Councillor May a couple of weeks ago, I think it was. There was an event going on. Oh, it was the coronation. It was on. How many weeks ago was that? Time flies. So the coronation weekend, I went down into town, and I saw Councillor May down there. And he said, oh, He said, thank goodness, you look so much better than you did. I said, well, you don't know the history then of what happened after that. I said, that the day I saw you was the day I nearly died. He said I was absolutely grey. And I know Yvonne said I was very grey, and she thought that I, you were losing me. But I'm afraid you didn't lose me. You still have me for as long as, well, who knows. So it was frightening. Yeah, absolutely. Well, it was frightening. Now, the thing I haven't done, Mags, yet is go to the. I've got to. Cass come in on. Cass. I have to go and deal with it. I haven't dealt with it at the surgery yet because I wasn't well enough to go and challenge them over it. Now, apparently, to issue a complaint, I've been told that I need to go and I need to talk to the practice manager. So I am going to get in touch with the practice manager soon and have an appointment. And what I'm going to do is say, right, okay, this is what happened. I nearly died. Now, why should I remain with you as a surgery, or should I be looking for a doctor that's going to take care of me? I'm going to have that sort of conversation. I'm not going to rant and rave. I'm going to make sure they know that I nearly died and the doctors said that I would have died. Yeah, it's not good enough. I have purpose still. I absolutely do, Heather. There's so many things I want to do, including going back to the shoes. So these are going to go to a charity. We have a charity on the island called the WOW charity. And basically, the people at the WOW charity support and help abused women. And so on the island, there's this chap called Peter May, and I've shared a lot of his stuff on my Facebook group. He's been walking around the island in shoes very much high heels like these. High heel boots he's been wearing, actually, so I'm not making them into a boot. But he's been doing that. Oh, week in and week out. He was down, where was he? He was at Care in the Garden. I'd hoped to get to Care in the Garden when he was there. But it was a wet day. It was a bank holiday Monday, and it was a wet day, and I wasn't still well enough. And I thought, no, I'm not going out. My chest might object to that. So I didn't go out. But I wanted to go and support him and see him. He has a treadmill, and he takes it with him to different places who host him doing his walking. He's done some walking around Ryde. He did a lot around Ryde last year. He was supposed to do a walk up the pier, and then that got kiboshed because somebody basically said that the moaners and groaners, they tried to put a health and safety issue on it. If he was walking up the pier, he would be in people's way. No, he wouldn't. No more than anybody else walking up the pier would be in anybody else's way. That's what you do. You have to walk up the pier because the train, I don't know if the train's running up there at the moment, So anyway, he decided he wasn't going to give up. So he walked along the esplanade and all around like that. So, oh, thank you, Angela. Angela sent me a picture of that stamp on Messenger. That would be wonderful because I think I might like to, borrow that stamp at some stage, Angela. And Angela, did we meet? We met through Crafter's Companion, did we, Angela? Or did you just watch were you watching my live streams? Yes, no, Angela was already watching my live streams. That's right. Angela and I met the other day. She'd been watching my videos for some time. And then she was crafting as well. So and through Crafter's Companion. I get confused, you can tell, can't you? And when I finally met Angela the other day, when she came round to me and very kindly gifted me something that I'd wanted, we sat and had a chat and talked like we've known each other all our lives, basically. And I said, when did you first start watching my videos? And she said it was the day because Angela lives in the UK on the island part of the time, and then she goes for warmer climes and so she's not always here. And her son had seen me live streaming the Christmas lights switching on in Newport on a rainy night. It was torrential rain. I remember I got absolutely soaked that night. but I'd said I would live stream, so I was there doing what I promised, because I always have done that in the past. These days, because I've been poorly, I've thought more about me and thought, well, if I don't get well, my audience won't have anything to see anyway, so I need to look after myself and my own health, which is why I haven't been live streaming or doing any of those things, because I need to make sure I'm fit and well. And Heather's saying these are perfect for that. Yes. So these shoots. So these are going to. I'm either going to find. I'm going to see what Peter wants to do. Whether he wants to have some of these where he's doing his next event, where people can buy them, or whether we have places that would sell them on his behalf, or whatever the options are. So I think these could raise quite a few pennies for charity. What was interesting was, when I was on the craft along, the first craft along that I did, I was supposed to be crafting with Michelle from Crafter's Companion, but she wasn't well that weekend, so Craig took over. But she was doing a big raffle to raise funds for abused women. And obviously she's got a history of that, you know, from the way it came across, she had a history of that, and she wanted to give back to the community by raising funds. And so I said to her, well, that's, you know, I told her about this, you know, this idea I'd had. So that's for the WOW charity, but I want to do so many other crafty bits for different charities. We have, I was listening to a podcast. There's some island, Harriet, I've forgotten her surname, is doing the Island podcast, and she's been interviewing people, and she interviewed Jeffrey Underwood, who set up the Wight Aid, which supports lots of charities. And they were saying how many charities there were on the island, and I'd forgotten what the number was. They said a huge amount of charities. And if we can do a little bit, or I can do a little bit to help them. In the past, we've done knitting and all sorts of things to help charities. But, you know, as I say, my knitting mojo came back this week a little bit, but I'm so, you know, wanting to do craft stuff. I might balance it out and do a bit of each, but I want to do lots more stuff that can help the local charities. I can't give them huge amounts of money, but I can turn my talents into pennies for them. So let's have a look. Oh, so Ailey's saying over 3,000 people arriving in Invergordon. So Ailey is one of our viewers from Scotland, and they're coming off the cruise ship tomorrow. Jolly good. Well, I hope that they're going to buy lots of the charity. Ailey does loads of knitting. She's sent lots of knitting to us here on in the past for island charities. People all over the country started sending stuff in for the things that because I was knitting, and in pandemic I started talking about my knitting because I couldn't go out and live stream the carnivals. Suddenly there was all this interest and lots more knitting people. I know Yvonne shared me into lots of the knitting groups, so we made friends with a lot of knitting people, and a lot of knitting people, you know, gave us all sorts of bits for charities. Sometimes we would knit specific things, like Age UK, Isle of Wight. They wanted the smoothie hats, and they want them so that they can put them on the smoothie bottles and sell for charity. There are Tracy's saying, look, I've helped them a lot with the knitting at Kessie Kindness, and I'm more than happy to do more, Tracy. I'm getting back to full, you know, to full strength. There's lots more I want to do. So, you know, we'll have a chat about that. I'd love to do some more bits. Yvonne King's daughter is busy printing bags for Centre Scott. Excellent, that's good. Wonderful shoes. Initially live stream, but see, yes. So Angela, and that's right, Angela initially met me because I was a live streamer, but then she found me again on Crafter's Companion, and it was lovely to be able to meet the other day. That was great. So that's lovely. So the future's bright, the future's orange, the future's black. Ledge. I don't know. I'm still here. I hope I've got a future, especially now I've got my craft room all set up ready. Almost. I want to be around long enough to use a lot of the stuff in here. You know, I joke about it. You know, some people don't like talking about death, do they? But you know, there's the one thing that's inevitable in life is death. they say. So every one of us it will come to. Some people don't like talking about it. I talk about it with humour, as I do with most things, because that's how I deal with it. My mum was 95 when she passed. My dad was 89. One gran was 89. The other gran was in her 90s. I'd like to think that maybe there's quite a few years yet. I'd love to, because I want to get on and do all these things. But I can do what I can do. And then whatever they do, they're not to throw my craft stuff away. I have instilled a love of craft in my grandchildren, and I'm going to see them shortly and taking them the electric machine I had before this one, and one of the children has sent a message back as well and says, Granny, will you teach Granny, I want you to teach me to crochet. So I will be doing a crocheting lesson as well, and that that warms the cockles of my heart, because I didn't learn to crochet until I was 68. So the fact that she's just coming into the teenage years and she wants to learn to crochet warms the cockles of my heart. Wow. So Tracy's saying that that the Kezi Kindness charity that she supports, and it's an amazing charity. It was set up by one of Tracy's friends, Nikki, who had a gorgeous little girl who's no longer with us, and so the charity was set up in Kezi's memory, and they do some amazing things. And the whole point of the charity is they want to make children smile. So they do lots of things and raise lots of money to help to make children smile who wouldn't otherwise. And what an amazing charity. I mean, so many charities on our island, so many different things. Now I'm taking I paid £20 the other day to take part in a virtual. It was a virtual eat your way around the Isle of Wight. And it wasn't eating, the idea is that you pay £20 and then you're supposed to do this exercise. Well, I said, I can't do a lot because I'm still recovering. And if I walk too far, I'm going to collapse in a heap, because it's not what I'm supposed to be doing. But I paid the £20, and I've got a step thing, a step counter put on my phone, so monitoring my steps. It's not actually mapping me out anywhere, because I'm only in my own flat wandering about or walking down to the garden and that. But I just thought it was a bit of fun. But I'm going to add up all the workouts, every day's workouts. So whether it was 0.2 of a mile or 0.3 of a mile, and I'm going to log them on they've got a setup where you can log it on, but I've got to add the bits up. My maths will have to come into play here. Not very good at maths, and I think virtually, the walks and things you do, whatever you do, will take you round. It won't take me very, very far around the island, but those fitter people will probably get all the way around the island from there. It's for the month. And so I just thought it was a bit of fun, but I must get it put onto the map, because I've saved each day's workout details. Walking backwards and forwards to the craft room. Never mind. Right. And Ailey's dad died last year on Palm Sunday. He was also 89 years old. Life is short. Enjoy every moment. Keep busy. Absolutely. What is this life if full of care? We have no time to stand and stare. Now we just got to get on with things, and so this morning I did a bit of gardening. So those of you who followed me for a long time know that during pandemic I created a garden at the front of my flat. I live on one of those estates that we don't have borders and hedges and things. It's all open plan. And so during pandemic, because I couldn't live stream the carnivals, because there were no carnivals, but my audience still wanted me to be a live streamer, I created a garden at the front. And then for 2 years in a row, I won Ride in Bloom. This year, I will only win it in Bloom if there's a prize for the biggest weeds. But then, of course, I've been poorly. There are a few plants that have struggled up in amongst the weeds. So I have been, and I'm lucky enough in my garden. The sun doesn't get. There's part of my garden that stays in the shade until 1 o'clock, and then the rest of the day, it's in the hot sunshine all day. So what I do these days is I'll pop down and water the ones that are in the shade before I watch the first Crafters Companion show. Sometimes I watch the Crafters Companion show while I'm in the garden. I did that this morning. I was tying up some runner bean plants and tomato plants that my brother had given me, and so I had Corinne and Craig sitting in a flower pot while I was doing what I needed to do. But I've also mentally redesigned my garden because it's those of you who've seen it will know and will endorse the fact that it's a crazy garden. It's as crazy as my craft room, but it became a container garden, and so lots and lots of containers. And then when my mum passed, huge amounts more of pots and plants came from there. So they're all squeezed up, and when they're all in bloom, it looks lovely. But it's looking a bit dishevelled now. And mentally, I would love to have it paved and a lovely seat put out there, and certain pots and plants that look after them, low maintenance, because I can't water like I did. I mean, I was out there for hours watering last year and the year before, but because I haven't been well, I can't do that. But I have a few plants by my front door, which I'm enjoying, and I'd love to do some more for the rest of the people on the estate to enjoy, but it's just too much. So my geraniums seem to have died. I thought geraniums were hardy. Some of them are okay. The ones in the baskets are okay, but the ones in the containers on the ground seem to have died. But one or two plants pushing their way through. So that's nice. So I do a bit in the garden, and then I come indoors and I watch the craft shows, and then I poodle about and do. I'm loving it. I don't go out a lot at the moment, from one who used to go out. So before I used to go and do all the live streaming, I had a skin problem, and I still got a bit of skin problem on my right leg, but years ago it was so bad that my legs swelled up and were red raw, and I couldn't go out. I was recluse, didn't go out because it was not comfortable to even walk on them. Then 5 years after that started, 5 years of going back. Now, this is where the hospital wasn't any good. The hospital were brilliant in saving my life this time, but in the skin department, rubbish. For 5 years, they gave me pills and said, take these pills and go away, basically. And for 5 years, I took pills and nothing ever happened. Then one day, my friend said to me, Lynn, I've been trying to talk to you and you weren't listening. And so I said, well, I'm listening now. Let's see what you've got to say. And she said, I'm going to help you change your diet. And basically, I've taken most of the grain out of my diet. And of course, it's not the grain that does the damage. It's the chemicals they put on the grain. And within 5 weeks, after 5 years of red raw skin, within 5 weeks, my skin started clearing up, because my lovely friend, it's another Tina, so we've got Tina Furnival here, but Tina Hyde, who lives on the island, she'd been seriously ill herself, got nowhere with the medics, and researched it all herself. So that's why I make all my own meals now, because I know what's going into it, what I'm having, and my skin is a lot better. There's still a bit of an issue, but it's livable. It's not a lot, and of course, I don't think you can ever entirely get rid of everything. It's very hard, I mean, I make all my own meals, but obviously there might be one or two things that I have that might have something in. But anyway, I'm so much happier than it when it was when I was a recluse and I couldn't do anything much. I don't even know what I did do. Maybe I just sat on the sofa and I can't even remember that time. I don't want to remember it. Oh, I've got competition for the biggest weeds, right? Okay. Tracy's neighbour will win prize for biggest weeds. Her stinging nettles are 6 foot high. Now, I haven't got any stinging nettles actually. Oh, I'm lucky then. Purple was my mum's favourite colour, and your mum loved sunflowers. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's right. So I don't know whether. I think I've got a few sunflower seeds. I don't know whether it's too late. I'll throw some in and see what happens. But I don't want to be having any issues of water, too much watering, especially as I'm going to go and see my daughter shortly. That relies on somebody else to have to water my plants, and I think it's going to be low maintenance. If I could win the lottery now, I had a lottery win. I had a lottery win on the 2nd of June. As some of you know, I put it up on Facebook page. I had a lottery win, and somebody guessed right at £4.50. So I had a £4.50 lottery win. I had another lottery win last night. I don't do lottery regularly, and I'll dip into which lottery I do, whether it's the Euro Millions or whether it's the one made up for life or whatever they call it. Last night I won £5, so we're going in the right direction. £4.50, £5, so that's £9.50 in a week I won. So who knows? Fingers crossed. But I don't know what it would cost to have my front garden done. I'd love to have it paved. I'd love a nice seat with a rose arbor up and over the seat, sitting there, and all that. I've got it in my head, but practically no pennies to do it. So there we go. Let's see who else is Craft. What Crafter's Companion banner? What about the Crafter's Companion banner? Sorry, is that you, Ailey? Crafter's Companion banner would be purple. Everything's purple. I just love purple so much. So what is everybody up to for the weekend? I might go and see this picture of the Constable painting down in the high street, but if it's going to knock me for 6, if it's too hot tomorrow, and I'm weary, then I'm not going to do it. I've seen the picture because my brother sent me a picture of the picture. If I do go, I'll live stream, but I'm not for sure. I'll see what I feel like. I've got to be sensible, and I've got all this craft stuff, sort of willing me to do something with it. So there are lots of lovely things. I've got a pile. These things that fell down beside me earlier. Let's see if I can. Oh no! Here are all those things that I was stamping out. And I'm perfecting my stamping skills because sometimes they don't stamp as well as they should. So I'm getting better. Life is short. Buy the shoes. Good shoes take you to good places. There we go. What's this one? You can never have too many shoes. Celebrate in style. So this is how I got so inky, because I was inking all those things up. But then I've got a whole pile of these sorts of things. You've got a bright pink and yellow ice plant on your pot out the front of your garden, and it's beautiful. When the sun out, it opens up, and when it's shady, oh, how lovely. The flowers close, beautiful. Went to Forest View Nursery yesterday and bought some more. Wow, that's lovely. Excellent. So in my pile around here, because Embracing Age is a charity that sends cards to people living in care homes. So, people in care homes who don't have any family, they're not going to receive any cards for their birthday, are they? Or for Christmas or anything like that. And so Barbara, who's a friend of mine when I used to go to church, her daughter set up Embracing Age charity on the mainland. And that was to support people, elderly people in care homes who had nobody, to support them. And then she set up down here on the island. And so we've done various things. So Rebecca Savage has been employed. I've forgotten what her role is, but she was wanting and the the Go Live Granny knitters came up trumps, knitters and crocheters. She wanted to do some aquariums, some sort of what do you call it? So they were crafted aquariums, knitted and knitted and crocheted aquariums, and so I just put the word out, and lots of my community made things to go in there. I know that I was stuck in lockdown in Manchester, as some of you remember. I went there for 5 days and ended up staying for 3 months because Boris locked us down, and I couldn't get back. And so I remember making little octopuses and jellyfish and all sorts, like with my crafty bits. And so, but the funniest thing for that, and I know lots of you have heard this story, but some of you haven't. When she first started this, a few days after I knew about it, I was at my front door and I looked down the road. I don't know whether I was looking for parcel man or what I was doing, as I often do because of the parcel man. I was looking that way. Then I looked this way, and on the grass next door was an aquarium, an empty aquarium. And I knocked on the door. I said, "Is that going out?" And and she said yes. And so I said, "Can I have it?" So there I had an aquarium for them to use. So what they did with those was set them up with the fish and all the things that people had made, and put them in the care homes. So they're sort of visually pleasing and aesthetically nice for the care home people to see. So that was brilliant. So we did some of those, but they're now doing a project where it's making greetings cards for them. Now they've got some people where they go and meet and sit and make their cards, but I don't want to be doing that. I'm more than happy to make a batch of 50 cards and just donate them to them. And some of the cards that I've already made for other people before are these little box cards. So this is a card that goes flat, and then it pops up, and you put various things in it. So it will have flower. These are just the bases. It will have flowers coming out of it. Or I made one with tools, all sorts of tools, men's tools coming out of it. Or they get no end of different things. You could have all sorts of these. So I've made quite a few of these because they'll fold flat and go into an envelope. And then I've been cutting out when I don't want to make a specific project, I will sit and maybe watch the Crafter's Companion or listen to a podcast or whatever it is, and use my mini die and cut out lots of little flowers or little. I'm going to make one with shoes on because I've got little shoes that went with the Cinderella set, and I can cut loads of shoes out. And what you do is you put the bit. Can you see that? That's a piece of acetate, and what you do is you put things on here. I know I made my brother a card with balloons and things, and lots of you liked it. And put all the different things on there throughout the card. Fill it all up, and I haven't bought any of that stuff because I save all the bits of packaging, and so many of Crafter's Companion stuff has things like this that you can just clean it out, give it a quick clean, and I don't buy any of that sort of thing for these. I just cut up what I have. I have a seeing eye. I was a teacher for a teacher for how long? I ran my nursery school for 21 years, and I taught 3.5 years before I had my first child. And then I went to teach again afterwards. So probably about 30 years. 30 years I think I taught for on and off. And I always had a seeing eye. I'm the world's best recycler because I don't, one of the best recyclers because I don't throw anything away. I even been cutting out. I had a box that mince pies had obviously been in at Christmas. And I've got boxes of all the scraps. So when I cut out any bits of card, I don't throw anything away. I say, oh, look, see, this is a box with lots of little bits of scraps of card in it, all right, where I've cut out things. Now, that one is still good for cutting some more bits out down the side. I will be able to cut something out of there and something out of there. But when I've done that, I won't throw it away, because one of the beaver leaders saw me making cards online, and she said, can I have the scraps? And she wants even the scraps like that. But you see, a package like this, look, that's green. Lots of leaves can come out of something like that. So I have this seeing eye, and I do all that sort of thing. What was that? Fromage frais pouches. I don't think they were mine. I don't buy things like that. Maybe it was my daughter's. I commandeered it when I was at her house, probably, to put the bits in. So lots and lots of things. Before pandemic, Lynn, you hardly had time to breathe and sleep. Good job you didn't hear about Crafter's companion bag. Absolutely. Yes. You've seen the older woman on, hang on, seen the older woman on website page with all the cards, amazing amount of cards. Absolutely. Angela's going for her COVID booster tomorrow. Hope that goes okay. And yes, Tracy, it's so unusual now, because I just sit. I was talking to Kath and said, I don't have to rush around. I don't have to do these things. I am so enjoying sitting, and I hear the birds sing when I've got the window open and the sun shines. This flat is lovely because the sun shines in it. So the sun rises that side and sets this side. So I get the morning sun coming in on the dormer windows that side, and the all afternoon into the evening this side. And it's just so nice. I live on an estate it's fairly quiet here at the moment. We've had issues in the past with some rowdy people, but generally it's very nice. I love it here. I don't want to move. And I live in a flat. So I'm in an upstairs flat. I haven't got anybody downstairs. Well, maybe there's some mice down there, because I sit on garages, 2 garages. And so I don't want to move. I'm on a list to possibly to investigate whether I can have a stair lift, because I'm finding the stairs becoming more difficult. I can still get up at the moment. They don't have to hoist me through the window. But I just like it here, so I don't want to move. You like to recycle boxes and packages? Absolutely, yes. And I'll tell you what. I've got an app on my phone called Bower, Bowyer, and you can recycle your packages, and you just have to photograph the. You have to scan, is what I'm trying to say. You have to scan the barcode on the packages, and you get a penny for every one. That's recyclable. So some stuff isn't, obviously, and that's worth doing. Some people probably can't faff around with all that, but I have a few pennies here and a few pennies there. I don't have a huge amount of rubbish, but So, folks, I'm beginning to get tired. I think it's probably time for me to pack up. Normally I used to do an hour. Look, we're coming on towards 2 hours. Thanks, Lynn. I had a vision then of them trying to catapult you through the dormer window. I'm glad I made you smile, Tracy. We must have a catch up soon, Tracy. And do you get any time where you're going to stop and meet for coffee? Or even you could come here. It'd be nice to catch up with you again. So anyway, I'm going to go and rest. I might do a little bit more crafting, or I might. Do you know one thing I've been doing that I never did before? I've been playing games on my phone. I used to think, oh, what a waste of time it was. It's not. It's so therapeutic, and I love it. I love it. So I play games on my phone. I listen to podcasts. And just really enjoying it. So over the weekend, if I go and see the Constable painting, I will try and live stream. But I'm not promising I'm going, because it just depends how I feel tomorrow. Thank you, Bags. It's been lovely to see me. It's been lovely to have you in the broadcast, even though I can't see you. I can see your picture there. Heather coming in and saying good night, Lynn. Thank you. Catch you at Crafters Companion tomorrow. So tomorrow they are. Oh, I didn't bring my flour in that I made. I should bring that into the next broadcast. I made a flour. So this week, because just before I go, because the warehouse has been closed in the UK, they haven't been promoting goodies to buy, but they have been running some programs called Craft Your Stash. So in other words, you've got all this paper, or you've got all this ink, or you've got this foil press, or whatever it is. Let's give you some more tutorials. And that's what they were doing. And today they were doing a bit of foil press tutorial. And I have to say, I have a foil press up on the shelf there that I have never, I think I used it once. I think I was a little bit frightened of it, but I was watching the broadcasts, the tutorial today, and Craig is going to do some more tutorials on the foil press tomorrow. So I should get my foil press down off the shelf and see what beautiful things I can make glimmer and shine with the foil. So that's on the to-do list, but not a lot else. It's hello, Yvonne. Oh, Yvonne. Oh, and there's Hazel. Oh dear. All right, perhaps we'll stay on a few more minutes then, because if I was just about to go after 2 hours of being on here. So Yvonne is coming in from Ventnor there, and Hazel's coming in from Australia. But Hazel is coming to the UK in July. And any of you who are on the island who would like to meet up, she's making a stop on the island. So some of us are planning to meet up with her, because she's been in our community. Well, I don't know how long you've been in the Go Live Granny community, Hazel. I know quite a long time. And that's good. And Yvonne, I met in St Mary's Hospital after I'd been there for an appointment. We were in the cafe, and I was knitting at one table, and she smiled across at me, and the rest is history. Yvonne and I have been good friends for, I think that's about 3 years ago. So some of you lovely people I've met, some of you I haven't. It's always nice when I do meet more of my community. Linda, who watched a lot of the broadcasts early on, she comes to the island on holiday, and she always looks me up. Richard, I met him, and then he became a member of the community, because I met him on the bus on the island when he was on the island, and then he starts, he was watching. But other people have done it the other way around. You're going to catch up with the Sheena Douglas video whilst working on your Christmas version of my craft. Oh right, you're going to do a lovely Christmas version. I'd love to know about that. So which craft along, Angela, are you going to do? Was it this one, the one with the box, or was it the one with the Cinderella, the other one that I can't show you because it's gone to my granddaughter? Somebody did a beautiful one like the princess one, did it with sunflowers. Did you see? So that was fun as well. So right, and Ailey saying, how's the Scottish cards coming along, Yvonne? So actually, I'm not going to really stay on much longer. It was nice to come in and say hello, but I'm going to have to ask Yvonne and Hazel to watch the replay, because I'm starting to wilt, and I think I need to go and chill out in the other room for a few minutes before I'll probably fall asleep in the chair. You bought a star die for your foiling. Excellent. Right, well, sounds like we need to catch up on some of the crafty bits at some stage, Angela. But yes, I'm looking forward to having a play with my foil press and doing lots of the other techniques that I've been learning over the months of watching Crafters Companion. So anyway, I am going to go. Sorry, folks. Nice to see you, and those of you just came in, sorry I've got to go, but I've been on the broadcast for nearly 2 hours, and I think I need to go and chill. So thank you. Thank you, everybody. See you again soon. I can't say when I'm going to be on. I'm going to try and do more sort of earlier. I'm not going to go back to the 10 o'clock slot. That's too late for me. I started to become more like a lark than an owl, and I rather like it. But obviously, if I'm up broadcasting at 10 o'clock at night, there's no way I'm going to, make it better for myself. So that's good, Ailey, that Yvonne's granddaughter is making some goodies for you. That's nice. Yes, so I want to do. I've got some ideas about what I want to do for live streams in the future. I want to introduce you to some people across the island. I want to do some interviews of people across the island. So that's something in my head, but I've got various ideas. So anyway, let you know. Thank you, Hazel. Hazel's going to watch the replay, and Angela's doing a Christmas goodie with the Cinderella. That sounds really nice. I'd love to see it when it's done, Angela. Thank you for supporting me, everybody, and I will see you soon. Take care and enjoy your weekend. And so wherever you are in the world, whether you've just got up like Hazel has because she's right across in Australia, or whether you're like me here in the UK and it's getting on towards bedtime, take care, everybody. Bye.